Hello and welcome tankers to another episode of World of Tanks with PR154. Today we're looking at a replay from Andor1 of the Soyuz clan and his VK3001P. Now he has spawned into a situation that so many of us just absolutely dread, being a heavy tank on Prokhorovka and there's 3 SPGs on the enemy team. Fortunately, what makes it a little bit interesting in this instance is that there are no light tanks. So traditionally on this map you end up in a situation where the winner is determined by simply who has the best light tank, or whose light tank doesn't get killed first. So I guess that component of it is taken out of the equation in this instance. I'm a little bit annoyed by this deployment, I must admit. Normally, to make this map work, you want to see tanks pushing into this 5 line, and presumably you'd have enemy tanks also pushing into this 5 line. Tanks here are proxy spotting enemy tanks there, and then tanks set up here can then put plunging fire into there and sort of secure that center of the map, thereby enabling you to exert a lot more map control. The 1-2 line generally takes care of itself. Either your tank destroyers are better, your light tanks are better, or they're not, and that tends to decide the outcome of that flank. So we have a very split deployment. We have our 3 SPGs down here at A6, medium tanks and tank destroyers generally frequenting the 1 line, as you'd expect, while the heavy tanks are generally going for the hill. Now, to be fair, a 5-line deployment could be quite catastrophic with 3 SPGs in the game, and it's, in hindsight, it's probably not the sort of deployment that you'd want to be doing on your own. Nevertheless, the enemy team have made the first move on the 1-2 line, which is usually not a good idea. Their HT number 6 has been shut down quite quickly. They've also lost a Wolverine earlier in the piece as well. So instantly the enemy is a significant disadvantage just by being 2 guns down, and 2 guns down on 1 flank. So it's very likely that the enemy is already outnumbered on that 1-2 line. We haven't seen anything on the 5 line yet, but granted we don't really have eyes in there either way, but we have detected the presence of enemy heavy tanks on the 0 line. A bit of a swing and the miss from Andor1 there, but some supporting fire from the Object 244 has seen some shots into those enemy tanks. He's taken quite a significant amount of damage in return. So it's probably not the best trade. But here we go. Andor1 has rolled forward and spotted 4 enemy tanks. So this is the part where you're really hoping that your artillery's on the ball, and they can reward you for taking that risk to spot the enemy tanks in that fashion. So just playing cute for now, just making sure we're unspotted. I have noticed he does not have 6th Sense on his commander yet, so I'm expecting he's either not running the directive or the commander just isn't that advanced yet. So move up through the bush again and spotting enemy tanks. We've taken some artillery fire. Could have been blind fire. Could have been spotted. Without that 6th Sense, we don't really know. But he's playing suitably cautiously, knowing that he sort of lacks that capability at this point. No further enemy tanks have been lost on the 1-2 line. We appear to be 2 tanks down. Again on that 1-2 line as well, so it indicates a reasonable presence of enemy tanks on that 1-2 line. So we've had our first kill on the 0 line with the T-34 shielded being shut down, as Andor1 puts a shot into the KV-2 Ragnarok. Looks like there's a sneaky Hellcat up in the bushes on H0 as well, having put a shot into Andor1. Our friendly SPGs appear to be raining fire in that H0 area, as Andor1 rolls in to take another look. One of the standout features of German heavy tanks, particularly at tier 6, is they have a significantly higher view range to other heavy tanks. That doesn't necessarily mean you should start using them as scouts, but by all means feel free to abuse the privilege in situations like this, where you might be able to poke through a bush and see the enemy tanks, but they might not necessarily be able to see you back. And this is super handy when you've got artillery on your team that is on the ball in this fashion. So they don't appear to be any more casualties taken on the 1-2 line, so that's appears to be sitting fairly static at the moment. Andor1 makes his play, knowing he's got a bit of an advantage. He's got the artillery with him. We see a one-shot KV1, and we'll take that gun out of the game. Oops, swing and a miss. And that gun is now taken out of the game. There's a lot of low hit point enemy tanks around, but that M41 HMC is going to be a problem, so we'll get that one shut down promptly. KV2 out in the opens, taking some fire, and it's now a one-shot as well. Look at this spotting damage, just absolutely rolling in for Andor1. We now have the enemy Hellcat is down to a one-shot. So there's really only 2 tanks immediately down that ridge that are a threat to us at the moment. Hellcat's taken out by a blind fire from artillery, which leaves only 1 enemy tank on the reverse side of that ridge. The Churchill 7 also appears to have made its escape, and Andor1 calls in his teammates to support, who are doing their best to move up from rear. We have an acknowledgement from VK31H, and Andor1 makes his move. We find the VK31H, who's moved behind a rock here to try to take some cover from artillery, but not quite. A bold, high explosive round into him from the VK3001H, but unfortunately there's just too much enveloping fire from the Churchill 7. Is tucked into a very sneaky position over in G9. And sadly that is game for Andor1, but on the face of it, he's not done too badly at all. He's done over 1,300 hit points of damage that we know about, and nearly 2,000 spotting damage that we know about. So here we have a game that's now entering its cleanup phase. They've taken out 10 enemy tanks at a cost of only 3 of our own, 11 enemy tanks now. We'll see these enemy tanks just dropping off very quickly. The Churchill 7 that's been hiding in the ditch has been taken out. The Panzer SFL 4 has been taken out on the 1 line. So that just leaves 2 SPGs and a medium tank on the 1-2 line. So I anticipate a fairly speedy cleanup operation. So let's speed this up and have a look at the world's fastest KV2. Still can't conquer that slope though, even with accelerated speed. Spotting the enemy Grille in the very famous bush position there, and the T-34-85M appears to have been identified on that 2 line. He's actually made an attempt to roll a little bit forward of the SPG and give them half a chance to get a parting shot in, but the Grille wasn't even pointed in that general direction. They were focused on the Object 244 that was trying to press the other SPG. So bit of a death in vain from the enemy T-34-85M. Let's take a quick look at the results now. So interestingly, we've got a slight disparity here. We've recorded 1,300 damage, which is consistent, but we've actually managed to pick up a hell of a lot more spotting damage than what was originally recorded. Exactly why that is, I'm not actually sure, unless it was unless there were some tracking shots that he'd put in that where the damage wasn't realised until after the enemy tank had gone dark. That's an interesting one. I don't know, but look, it's obviously translated very well into the results for Andor1 with nearly 2,500 spotting damage. So very unlikely outcome for a heavy tank in a 3 SPG matchup on Prokhorovka, but stranger things have happened in World of Tanks. But great game, Andor1 from Sawyer's Clan. And if you have a replay that you'd like to see featured on World of Tanks with PR154, please contact us on our Discord. I'll put that in the link below. In the meantime, take care out there, tankers.